So I finally finished watching Stranger Things 2, or Stranger Things Season 2, but they call it Stranger Things 2. It takes place a year after the events of the first season, and when I first saw the first episode, I was like, am I watching something else? Like, we see another girl, and there's armed robbery somewhere else in the country, in Pittsburgh, and it's revealed, oh, she's just another psychic girl. But we go back to Hawkins, and okay, a lot of this season was awesome. Like, okay, there's new character named Max, and then there was a line in the show where she says that made me think of Life is Strange's version of Max, where she says Max, never Maxine, and I'm like, didn't Max from Life is Strange say that? And while we did get a backstory, when I first saw the way they were acting, how they're in this together now, I was thinking, like, did they murder? Was there a murder or something in California and they had to leave town? I'm like, this is the 80s, so they wouldn't be tracked down by the government, by the police that much, because the internet's not as powerful yet, I think. I don't know if I keep forgetting when the internet was truly formed for the public. So, yeah, and then we learned that Steve, Mike, and Nancy are still dealing with the losses of Eleven, who's revealed to be alive. The trailers gave that away. And Barb, there's actually a purpose for Barb's death, and now we can put aside the Justice for Barb movement. I still don't get why that was so popular, but like, I get Barb's character was like something you could meet in the real world and sympathize with, but really, the Justice for Barb thing? Like, we saw her dead. Like, I'm pretty sure they incorporated some of that with the reveal by making up a story of what happened to her. So, yeah, also, there was a new character named Bob, and I was having this very strange familiarity with him. Like, wait, where have I seen him before? It's his face. There's something about his face that makes it so familiar. And then I looked up on his list of work he's done, and then I found out that's Sam from Lord of the Rings? Oh my god, that's Sam from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that guy was Sam from Lord of the Rings. I knew there was something familiar about him, and I thought the Duffer Brothers had a very golden opportunity to do this line. They could have done this. Like, Bob was saying if he could be any character from Lord of the Rings, he would pick Sam. Like, that would have been epic to me, because really think about this. The actor plays Sam in Lord of the Rings. Imagine if they had done Bob saying that if he wanted to be a character in Lord of the Rings, he'd be Sam. That would be perfect. So, in this season, Will is suffering from these flashbacks, visions, or something regarding the Upside Down, and an enormous tentacle creature that looks a lot like a xenomorph. Yeah, I was thinking, that's a xenomorph. That's clearly the design of a xenomorph. So, yeah. We also get flashbacks of how Eleven eventually escaped the Upside Down, got returned, and eventually was living with Harper. Yeah. And yeah, Eleven and Mike, yeah, it's just adorable, and how she gets jealous of Max and for seemingly flirting with him, though in reality she's more interested in Lucas. Yeah. And Max's brother, I kept thinking, like, did they murder somebody? Like, this whole season before it got revealed, I was wondering, did they murder somebody? Was there a huge scene and they had to stay together because one talked and the other's done for? So, yeah. I didn't get that. So, there's the new scientist, Dr. Owens, and okay, I'm just gonna say it. I called BS when it was revealed that he somehow survived the facility when the demi-dogs attacked, the name that was given to him, given to the Demogorgon's creatures that look like dogs. Also, Justin bonds with one of the creatures to the point that it actually sets up a plot point, and I was surprised that, wait, they managed to get that. Wow. Like, I didn't expect that to happen. So, yeah. So, Steve was great. A lot of the characters were great in this season. Bob, especially when they killed him off. Yeah, they killed him off. And I was wondering, wait, Barb at least had a purpose for dying. What does Bob get? Like, he lives his own life. He was dating Joyce. Yeah, I don't get it. I kept trying to figure out why they killed him off. Like, the only explanation I could come up with to myself is because Joyce and Harper. Is that why? Okay. But couldn't you have found another way to do this? Instead of just straight up killing him off, or not do Joyce and Harper? Like, just have Bob and Joyce be together throughout the entire series, or come up with a better reason of why you should kill him off. And then episode 7 comes, but firstly, also Bob did do something in the season that kind of feels like he caused this to an extent, of when Joyce, when Bob gives Will advice of how to confront the shadow monster, and then that doesn't work because, Will follows Bob's advice and confronts the shadow monster, and a shadow tentacle is shoved down his throat, and I'm getting flashbacks of what happened in Prometheus and how that ended. Pretty sure one of my friends would be freaking out at this kind of scene. And then we see over time that this creature starts to influence Will, starts to try and take control of him. It's actually a very slow process. Originally, it was revealed Bob was supposed to be killed in the car back in episode 3. Yeah, here's the thing I have about that. Okay. The monster hasn't affected him yet. I mean, like, they clearly were going to probably do it for something else, but that would have been really rushed. So, yeah. I was glad they decided to take the slow pace and actually give Bob more of a purpose other than just be shock factor. Okay, yeah, it was still somewhat shock factor. And when Bob tries to leaves the gun behind, I was like, oh, that's not good. And then they killed him off. And they do it in the most basically fisted way possible when, like, everything looks good. He looks at Joyce smiling, and then another creature attacks him. Yeah, they don't show where that creature came from. They just pops out of nowhere. And, okay, I'm trying to wonder, yeah, I'm trying to wonder this. What happened with episode 7? Like, there's an entire episode dedicated to 11 meeting this girl named Callie. And also we get 11 finally meets her mother and learns of and learns what happened to her. Shock therapy. And here's the thing. They hint that Dr. Brenner is still alive. Yeah. How? Like, we saw him, the monster attacked him. How did he survive that? So, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to wonder why on earth that happened. In fact, it was said by the Duffer Brothers that episode 7 was inspired by Star Wars, and I get that. Like, this episode was good, like, the characters were good and whatnot, but it just felt, couldn't it take place a little bit later or earlier in the season? Because I get the point of this episode was to help 11 get stronger with her powers. It really paid off in the end. And I did love the contrast of how in Star Wars, if Luke uses his anger, he'll go to the dark side, but 11 uses her anger to protect those she loves. So I'm like, yeah, that might be conflicting for Star Wars a little bit, and Disney's viewpoints. And I did love this part where Jonathan, like, the love triangle that's going on, there is something that I thought was interesting about this. Nancy, Jonathan, and Steve, when this was subtle, it took me a few days to realize it, but when Steve and Nancy are together, they have to make up a lie about Barb thinking she's still alive. In reality, she isn't, because they know she isn't, and they have to play this lie. But when she's with Jonathan, they try to tell the truth. So that sort of seems a little strange. That it looked like a subtle marking, like when the character, when I'm trying to remember his name, the crazy conspiracy guy. Yeah, when our conspiracy theorist reporter, yeah, he points out the obvious sexual tension between the two of them. And, oh man. So, yeah. When this happens, Murray explains basically what the hell it is between Nancy and Jonathan, and okay. It was clearly obvious this was just ham-fisting the point that get together, get together, get together. Like, clearly they love each other, they just don't want to admit it. And yeah, it was hilarious, but it did make me think of those subtle moments where whenever she was with Steve, it was a lie, but when she was with Bob or Jonathan, it was truth. It was a very subtle thing for me. And so, okay. And Terry, yeah, it was bad. She gets severely brain-damaging dose of shock therapy because she goes to protect her, to get her daughter back. And the evil government will destroy all those who oppose them. Or at least the guy who operated the government and is somehow still alive, I think. Yeah. But, also, Steve got his ass kicked in the final episode. Yeah. Oh, man. And especially how they got the virus out of Will. Oh my god. I was like, are they really gonna kill him off? If they really did that would be pretty ballsy. So, yeah. And Billy, is a jackass. And after Max decides to try to destroy his precious jewels, pretty much, with the barbed wire baseball bat. Okay, that was awesome. Yeah. So, all I'm wondering is, what the hell's gonna happen, like, for next season? Because Jonathan might not come back. Yeah, you see, the actor who plays Jonathan, he's been deported back to London. Yeah, apparently he was caught with cocaine on a plane and is now deported back to London, and the chances of him coming back to the States is highly improbable. So, and the fact that the show has been said to have, 3 to 5 seasons, like, ended with a 4th or 5th season, And clearly they had something going on between the love triangle, so yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work out for them. Like, are they gonna try and work with the government to try and let him come back? Are they gonna try, is he gonna try and fight for his right to come back to the States? The actor who plays Jonathan, are they just gonna write him off the show? Because the show, the season, yeah. Yeah, Nancy and Jonathan finally get together, and then this BS happens. Then this drug issue happens. So, yeah, what was that big reveal between Max and Billy and why they seem so distant? Well, Billy's father remarried Max's mother, which Billy is unhappy with, and I was like, why didn't you just do the murder idea? Like I was thinking that Billy murdered somebody in California and took the girl with him and saying that they're in this together now. Because it looked like Billy threatened to kill Max on several points. So that would explain the hostile relationship, but no, it's just a marriage issue that he has with someone. In fact, when the father told Billy to, forcibly apologize for saying Max is not his sister, I was thinking, is he gonna attack the father? Is he gonna attack his father? That eventually he has to reach a breaking point, right? So the whole Max involvement, it was like, okay, I get why she's put in the show. It's also to try and further develop the boys, the children, because they're reaching this age where they'll be attracted to girls, or interested at least. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. She has an arc with her brother. I think they're still going to do with that later in the show. But, yeah. But I was trying to figure out, oh yeah, speaking of which, the original husband of Joyce, who was the father of Jonathan and Will, originally they were going to give him a redemption of some sort, and they never did. Yeah, so I'm wondering, are they ever going to bring him back, or was he just there for the first season? He never showed up in season 2, or I don't think he was even mentioned. So, yeah, we'll have to learn that later. Also, number 8, I'm wondering if they will be brought back. If she and the gang will be brought back. Although she was shown as a cruel person, I was thinking, oh, is she going to come back? She clearly does care about 11. The episode is called The Lost Sisters, so clearly there is something here. So, okay. I'm curious as to know, will she and the gang come back, look for 11 or something, or will they go after the other people who screwed them over? 11 was given a dark option and chose not to do it, but she still took the teaching she's got from number 8 to heart. That eventually helped her close the portal. Oh, and by the way, the Shadow Monster still lives, so, yeah, that's clearly not good. But yeah, the CGI has improved greatly. The characters were great. But I just keep wondering about the Shadow Monster. Is that supposed to be a xenomorph? They hinted at it somewhat when they showed a poster of season 2 with the xenomorph egg, but it's redesigned to look more like the upside down eggs. So, yeah, I get the feeling they were trying to allude to that, oh, it's trying to mirror that of the xenomorph. And, okay, I get why one of the demodogs showed up, but we didn't learn about it did probably come from Will when, spit that out in first season. I thought that was just there for shock value to build up the next season. But no, it's actually kind of a point there. But then we see all these other ones pop up, and I'm like, where did they come from? Then we learn about the portal, but wait, if the portal was in front of the scientists, then how did it get by them? How did they get out of the lab? How did they get underground? Like, yeah, maybe there was another portal, but the monster's all dead now, except for the shadow creature. So, yeah. So Barb is finally given justice and given a proper funeral. The Dr. Owens, okay, yeah, I'm about to say, I call bullshit when he somehow survived not being killed. Like, he was attacked by the creatures, but I was wondering, wait, why didn't they kill him? Yeah, they killed Bob, they killed everybody else in the lab. Why didn't they kill Owens? Wait, it's to forge a birth certificate for 11. Okay, you fulfilled your purpose. Yeah, I just found it was confusing. Like, why would the creatures let him live? Like, is it because of the fire that the boys did and Max did? Like, that would make sense, but it looked like he had been there for a while, so shouldn't he have been dead? Yeah, I'm wondering that. Also, Steve freaking out about Max driving a car was... yeah, that was hilarious. Okay, so, yeah. And the season ends with 11 and Max kissing at the winter dance along with Lucas and Max, so clearly they're going to get together. And it's shown in the Upside Down that the Shadow Monster still lives, towering over the school. I'm just calling it a Shadow Xenomorph. That's the only way I can see that. And... yeah, the season was very slow pace building because they were building up Max. They were building up all these characters. Will being possessed by the monster. Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting, and I'm curious to know where the show is going to go next. Don't know what's going to happen to the character of Jonathan if they can't get the actor to come back to the States because of all the, you know, deportation. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with him. So, this could probably be his last appearance in the show. But, yeah. Yeah, also he had missed the premiere of Season 2. So, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how the law system works regarding deportation. So, we're going to have to see what happens with Season 3. Like, I don't know if they announced it yet. They're going to probably next year, but yeah, like I said, it's going to be difficult to how to get Jonathan back if the actor can't come back. They can't switch characters. They can't switch actors. That doesn't work for me. So they're going to have to find something to do with all this, and like Steve and Nancy don't seem to getting back together, and I did love Nancy getting all this guilt thing and revealing that she doesn't really love Steve in her drunken state. Kind of makes her split reality from fiction. So yeah, also I realized something. This whole show is a lot like a D&D game. I'm like, yeah, that was plainly obvious, but the more the show continued, the more it felt more like a D&D game. Like, the Demogorgon, like, I get these are kids, but the season treats it like it's an actual D&D game, except set in the 80s. So, yeah, I actually love that. And, I did love the smaller moments, like Steve and Dustin getting along. Especially when it's revealed how Steve gets his hair the way it is. So, I don't know what's going to happen with Will and Dustin, if they're going to get love interest. Like, they hint at Will getting one when he gets a girl to dance with him. So, yeah, we'll find out. So, those were my thoughts on Stranger Things 2, or Stranger Things Season 2. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more. And yes, I know this was so out of place.